whatever it is. This game was supposed to be about Caleb versus Jaden, and sort of was. Look, Dan, Washington dominated pretty much the entire game, and then DeAndre Swift did this.
The defense kept him in it, and then the Bears needed life. DeAndre Swift gets that outside handoff, poor tackling by Washington, bursts down the sidelines. All of a sudden, Chicago's right back in it.
Bears are down 5, 3rd and goal at the 1, 6 minutes and change to go, and this is the play that they run.
Don't mind the call at all. 3rd and goal, you're trying to get an advantageous call and maybe catch the defense off guard. The handoff, where that goes to that lineman, is the reason why the play is a failure.
I think we have some disagreement on the
Yes, we do.
We will get to that. In the meantime, the Bears defense holds. They get it back. Caleb Williams, this was his play of the day.
Great field by both Caleb Williams and Keenan Allen. I can make the claim that Keenan's not even supposed to be getting out there, but he sees soft spot. Caleb keeps the play alive, dump off.
This time, do they give it to a lineman? No, they give it to Roshan Johnson. Bears go for the 2 and get it, so they're up 15-12. Now, ensuing Commanders drive. There are 6 seconds remaining. They're about their own 35-yard line, and the Bears just surrender close to 15 yards unchallenged. And that leads to this.
4 at the goal line. They bring 3. Daniels backing up. He's just going to have to let one fly. Goes to the right side. Steps away from the defenders. Gives himself some time. Now steps up, fires. Heads towards the end zone. It is.
When people ask you why you love sports, just show them that moment over and over again. The Commanders win in impossible fashion. Here was Jaden after the game.
I was juiced up for sure. I'm excited because, I mean, that's kind of like a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Like, not too many people get to experience stuff like that. That was my first time. So, obviously, I was juiced up, the whole stadium, team, sideline, everybody.
We've practiced that play 100 times since we've been here. And again, I'll have to look at what the execution was of that, but we have a body on a body, boxing guys out like basketball at the very end. We have one guy that's the rim that knocks the ball down. We got a back tip guy that goes behind the pile. So again, I got to look at it and detail it out and make sure we're better next time.
Oh, yeah, that'll help make people feel better. Okay, put your feet up. We've got a lot of time to dissect this. Okay, let's start by saying congratulations, Washington. Unbelievable win, unbelievable play, absolutely deserve it, incredible season. However, the fact that the Bears allowed that play, those final 2 plays to happen, was an abject disgrace. And I happen to have the exact right person to explain why. Let's start with the Hail Mary and all the things they got wrong. Let's start by showing you what happened there with Tyreek Stevenson. For those who haven't seen it, Tyreek Stevenson, the Bears defensive back, who is supposed to, of course, be involved in this play. As the ball is being snapped, Cindy, if we can show this here, Tyreek Stevenson is taunting Rex, the Washington fans.
Oh, yeah, look at him.
But before the play, that's all fine. That's all well. That's all good. Now, hold on just 1 second. The ball has been snapped. He is still not paying attention. 4 seconds later, he runs over, and he winds up being the one, Rex, who tips the ball that Noah Brown catches.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, he tipped it up when you're taught to knock it down. But this is a complete joke. Like, what the hell are you doing? Number one, like, the game's not over, and certainly the way you guys defended it, it damn sure ain't over, because absolute abysmal. It starts with a pass rush. Number one, there's several ways to defend things. One is a 3-man rush. All right, one is you come after him, don't give him time to throw, which I'll show you later. But this is one right here. Everything is played poorly. First off, what the hell is 53 doing spying? Who the hell is he spying? What's he going to spy the quarterback? Is he going to run for a 70-yard touchdown? It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. And by the way, a 3-man rush, they called it, because rightfully so. Hey, it's a 3-man. What is 53 doing?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous, right?
There's another angle that we can show you right here. 53.
Yeah. What
His
are you
name
doing?
is T.J. Edwards. What is he accomplishing on this play?
That would be nothing. Like, you worry the quarterback. Let him run. Let him run. Right. Like, what are we doing? So the design of that is atrocious. You don't a 4-man rush, then rush 4. All right, which I don't agree with, by the way. You're doing one or the other, a 3-man rush, or you're going to bring after him. I run a simulated pressure, which is no surprise. That always works. But here, this is something that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he's got to run around like this. Why? It takes forever to get guys 70 yards down the dang field, and you allowed him to do that. So your pass rush is stupid in that situation. It's not coordinated. And certainly the way you played this is not coordinated. Number one, you never let somebody get behind the defense. Ever. Oh, by the way, you did.
Right.
Okay. You got homeboy over there celebrating and stuff like that. By the way, you go in there. I don't know, like Dano and D-Wood, I don't know, Greeny, if he should have been the backboard. I don't know if he's supposed to be the backboard or not.
Right.
Okay, because the way 31 plays it, it almost looks like he doesn't think he's the backboard. All right, you always have one in guy. And so to me, it's atrociously played. And what the hell this guy's doing over here? Like, and tipping the ball up. Hey, dude, you
knock it down.
Like, you knock the damn thing down. He goes up with one hand to tip it, and he literally tips the thing up. So it's absolutely ridiculous. But it starts with the front. The mistake is not just in the back end; it's in the design of this. Those three poor guys that are chasing the guy.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Why do you think Washington left the back end in for protection? Celebrating with the fans and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. But let me show you what I would do, guys. I got to show you this because last week the Lions were in a similar situation. I wonder what the hell happened there. Oh, they sent 5. It's called simulated pressure. You're going to attack the upfield shoulder of the quarterback, a right-handed thing. But it shows, by the way, they take away the boundary from you. They don't allow you to throw the 13-yard pass. All right?
Right.
And then you don't have, how much times does Sam Darnold have to throw the ball? I don't care if you have Bob Hayes or the Olympic damn champion, he ain't going to get down there in the end zone. So to me, this is a different approach. I wonder why. Because some of my boys are in Detroit and like, oh, they know how to finish a damn game. This is an embarrassment, all right? And to me, you'll never make up for it. When you lose a game like this, you never make up for it.
You know, as much as you did a great job of describing the Hail Mary, the play before that was atrocious as well. Mm-hmm. Think about this, and Dan, you know this. Jaden Daniels has a rib injury. You know how hard it is to try to heave a pass that distance. That's why they went out there and tried to gain as much yardage right there. Like, why aren't you defending the boundary?
Well,
you do not allow the guy to catch the ball right there and give yourself an even closer amount of yardage to throw the Hail Mary. That's a mistake.
D-Wood?
Oh, it's a huge mistake.
Do you want me to make your head explode? Do you want me to make every Chicago Bears fan's head explode? So that play that you're just seeing right there, the ball is snapped at about the 35-yard line, which means that he is going to have to try and heave the ball 75 yards to get it to the goal line, which he's not going to be able to do. They advance it almost 15 yards on that play. Matt Eberflus, the head coach of the Chicago Bears, a defensive coach, was asked afterwards about that play. This was his answer.
You're defending touchdown there, and them throwing the ball for 13 yards or 10 yards, whatever that is, doesn't really matter. It's always going to come down to that last play. And it came down to a 2-second play to the last play, and we got to execute on that one.
We got to execute on that last play. This, you just don't understand. Like, I think it's a little easier. Dan, maybe I'm wrong. Is it easier to throw the ball 50 yards, 60 yards, or 80 yards?
Yeah.
I don't know unless.
That's a horrible answer.
Listen, I'm going to let Dan answer in a second. Let's just be clear. That's one of the 5 dumbest things I've ever heard a human being say in my entire life in any context. It doesn't even have to be sports. If I own the team and I hear the coach say that after the game, I have serious conversations amongst people about whether he is qualified to be the head coach of a National Football League team. If he says those 15 yards didn't matter, those 15 yards cost you the game every bit as much as the Hail Mary play at the very end.
Yeah, the Bears lost the game because of coaching and the way that they coached that final sequence. So we're going to break down these 2 plays. Rex and I and Greeny, you'll be there with Woody, and there's going to be so much good that has conversation-wise attached to this. Okay, so that play right there, let's start with that. Number one, there's 6 seconds on the clock. If there's 5 seconds, we can't call it as an offense. We don't have the time. The second part is this. We can't throw the ball to the field. Ball being on the left hash, we're throwing it into the boundary. McLaurin does a great job of catching and then watch no wasted movement, get out of bounds with urgency, okay? When it comes to a Hail, reason we can't throw it to the field is we won't have enough time to get out of bounds. So you only have to defend the boundary. When it comes to the Hail Mary, there's one question that has to start with a yes or no. Can we get the ball to the end zone? Okay? If we don't get that previous completion as an offense, the answer is no. So the Hail Mary is almost null and void, and we go into a lateral situation.
Right.
That completion leads to the can we get the ball to the end zone, and the answer is yes. The second part is this. You teach your quarterback, do everything you can to get the ball off. That's why Jaden does a fantastic job here of just hanging and giving, to Rex's point, his guys a chance to get downfield. The third part is this. Everybody stay alive. And you have to credit Washington offensively and the big guys up front because they stay alive. The blocks, the blocks, the blocks. And again, we're going to break this down. McLaurin's at the front of the tip. Noah, look at the offensive lineman. Stay alive. Watch him stay alive. Stay alive. And Rex, to your point, and we're going to get into this again later in the breakdown, we get 3 double teams as an offense because you don't rush us.
And because 53 is not doing anything. He's
That's
literally
exactly
not doing
McLaurin
anything.
in the front, Brown in the back. We have a front tip guy and a back tip guy. Washington clearly executed better. The last point I'll make is this. If you were Eberflus and you're watching or your staff is watching Tyreek Stevenson do what he's doing pre-snap, you 1,000% should pop a timeout.
Timeout.
You should be standing next to the official before the ball's getting snapped, maybe even seeing their formation. What are they going to do? Pop the timeout and then talk with your defensive football team about what the plan is.
I would have called a timeout in that situation. What we used to call
Like, you got plenty of time right here now.
We used to
You got
call it
plenty of time.
We used to call Kodak. So you see how the team is going to
Take the
line up.
picture.
You take
That's
a picture
it.
of what they're going to do, and then you talk to your guys. Okay, guys. Listen,
Everybody's rules.
This is what we're doing on Hail Mary.
Right.
You have this. Like, make sure everybody's down on their assignment.
And it's important for everyone at home to understand. When you go over Hail Mary, both offense and defense, you don't do it full speed in practice. You never do because of injury. You got guys jumping all over the place. So it often is a walk or jog through. So to Woody's point, it's even more paramount because you haven't repped it full speed for everybody to know their exact responsibilities of who has who.
Well, and that's a great point. To the point where you've called timeout, and later in our show, we're going to have a diagram on what you actually do. You literally will hold up into the defense, and I would go,
You're saying
okay,
in-game right now.
In-game, right now after timeout. All right, everybody straight. We're going to play what I call victory, all right, victory defense. We're going to play that. Here it is. Make sure everybody understands the assignments, whatever. Boom, done. Because right now, you're right. The only time we would ever, and D. Wood could speak on it because he was with me, the only time we would ever practice that full speed was in training camp. That was it. And it was a one-time shot just so you visualize it.
Yeah.
Right.
Every bit of it, you're exactly right. It's more of a jog through, even to the point where we would throw it from like 30 yards away
Right.
to make sure that we have everybody blocked off and things like that.
To be clear, this was a coaching meltdown by the Chicago Bears.
Yes.
Because you're either coaching it or you're allowing it to happen. There are so many things on this play that are inexcusable. I don't even know where to begin. Beginning with the strategy. Once again, you have 11 people playing defense. In the case of the Chicago Bears, they chose to play with 10. They are spying him like it's the middle of the second quarter, and they're afraid he might run for a 7-yard gain. There's no time left on the clock. 53. Watch him go back and forth. His name is T.J. Edwards. He's just watching in case Jaden Daniels decides to run. Jaden Daniels deciding to run ends the game.
Right, go ahead and run.
You win the game the minute he decides to end it.
My guess is, this is a guess, that they're thinking the 3-man rush is going to flush Jaden Daniels to some spot, and then he goes and gets
But he never does.
Maybe it should have been coordinated that way.
No, I agree, but that's I don't think they're spying him in the relation of just in case he runs. I think they're spying him in the hey, we're going to try to force him, or he's got to take time. He's going to get outside the pocket. Once he does, you go get him.
But that's exactly.
But that happened twice. He went outside the pocket twice, and he never rushed him.
But there's a credit. I agree.
Yeah.
But there's a credit to Washington. I'm telling you, Washington was more prepared for it. Because if you watch their offensive linemen, they're constantly tracking 53. The double teams they never go downfield. That's all part of this. Washington was much more prepared for the situation than Chicago when it came to the execution of roles.
Yeah, no question about it. And if you're ever going to have a four-man rush,
right,
all right, which is not really recommended in that situation. However, if you're going to, then you coordinate it. You put that guy where you want him. The first place where I don't want him is dead in the middle of the field. Now he's got a two-way go.
Good point.
I'm going to pin him on probably the opposite shoulder. So I probably make you defend you a right-handed quarterback, push you to the left,
sure,
and then my guy comes off and cuts you off. The other thing is, once this man breaks contain, if we can run it back, once he bails, you teach your guy to play high. And what I'm saying is, once this guy bails, watch him, okay? The quarterback ends up bailing contain, breaking contain. You see this guy right here. You build high. You net him. Why? You don't chase him.
What do you mean
you build high? On his upfield shoulder. Why? So he can't retrace. This guy ends up retracing. So he beats you twice.
So you're saying the guy from the backside, Rex?
No, I'm saying the guy that loses contain.
Yeah, 55.
Watch the left defensive end.
Yeah, 55.
55 is going to lose contain. Once he loses contain, now go as high as you can. We want him to now have to come back down here, and everybody else cuts it off. To your point, 53 or whatever would have cut him off as well. You put him in a box. This guy, they have no clue what the hell they're doing on this pass rush situation. Zero. They want to pin him from the inside. That's why the timeout spend all day there.
The timeout for me is just so important to pop there, make sure everybody's on the same page, talk through exactly what the roles and the plan are.
And by the way, in that situation, never, ever have a four-man rush.
Yeah. And look, I hate to keep harping on this, but I think we need to do it. Can we play that second Matt Eberflus soundbite one more time, just to make it 100% clear? The 12-yard gain changes the game. Right? It's the whole game.
You don't even get to the Hail Mary without that.
Right.
Play it one more time, Cindy, because he really says it.
You're defending a touchdown there, and them throwing a ball for 13 yards or 10 yards, whatever that is, doesn't really matter. It's always going to come down to that last play. And it came down to a 2-second play to the last play, and we got to execute on that one.
Again, Jaden Daniel has a rib injury. Like, first of all, I would say even without the whole knowing of the rib injury, he's not going to be able to get the ball down to the end zone 75 yards away. It's not going to happen. That's why you protect the boundary right there. It's closest. The clock is the issue. Washington does a fantastic job of running the route and the ball placement, carrying the receiver out of bounds. So you're saving time in that situation. If the Chicago Bears protect the boundary, keep everything in the field of play, game is over.
Game is over.
Game is over.
Game is over.
If there's 5 seconds on the clock, I completely agree with Eberflus that the play can't happen. It's 6 seconds, and here's the thing, Rex, you know this. All you got to do, we use defenses that I was with, they called it jail cell. They would put a guy, his back to the sideline at 10 yards, and they would just stand him there. And so you could not throw that 10-yard out. And then he could retrace into the Hail Mary to track the receiver. Romo called it pre-snap. Romo was saying, you have enough time to throw a 10 or 12-yard out. How does Romo know it? And no one on the defensive staff knows.
Yeah, everybody knows that if they leave you uncovered, it's just a given. You take it, it's a layup. Now, here's the crazy thing. There's other ways of doing it. Like, part of it is, I prefer a 5-man rush.
Sure.
All right, in that type of situation. And I'm going to take away what you want to do, the quick little throw.
Right.
Then I'm going to add to the pass rush.
You don't even have to worry about the field, though. There's not enough time for us as an offense.
All right.